Welcome back to No Sticks, No Bricks. So today I got another product review video for you guys. We're gonna be talking about the ICECO G20 12 volt refrigerator / freezer combo. All right, guys, like I said, this is the G20 from ICECO. This is a 12 volt refrigerator that can either be a refrigerator or a freezer or all one freezer or all one refrigerator. It's dual zone. It's got a partition that you can remove to change the different temperature zones. The reason I really like this one is because it is smaller. It'll fit right in the back of our Jeep, no problem, and we can plug it right into the 12 volt DC socket. This also comes with an AC adapter, so that way you can plug it into your home or any kind of AC outlet. So this thing comes in at about 22 inches long, about 12.5 inches wide, and also about 12.5 inches tall. This is going to be great for those of you that like to go out on the weekend for camping or hiking. Maybe you're going on an ATV ride or a Jeep ride or any kind of off-road adventure. Some of you may be asking, well, why don't you just take a cooler? Well, with a cooler, you got to worry about ice, right? And ice is kind of a pain to manage. So it's a lot easier if you just bring your own fridge freezer. So this eliminates the worry for ice altogether. So this holds about 20 quarts on the inside of the refrigerator freezer. And then of course you have this partition here that you can remove and make this all one temperature. Or if you put it in, you can make one side fridge and one side freezer. It's even got a nice LED light right here. Now ICECO makes all kinds of different coolers, different sizes, different features, so make sure you go to their website and check them out. If you want to order this specific model, the G20, it's actually on sale right now for $360. And if you use discount code NSNB at checkout, it'll get an extra 12% off. You could order this in two different colors. You can get this gray or white color. And then you can also get them with a cover or without a cover. You just have to pay a little extra for the cover. Right now it's $414 for one of these with a cover. The only drawback that I see with this freezer so far is that you have to have it plugged in for it to work. It does not have an internal battery at all. So once you disconnect it from power, it shuts off and now it's a normal cooler. ICECO says it will keep things cold for about 3 hours after removing it from power. But as you can see, I've got ours plugged in to my All Powers battery bank right now. So let's do a couple tests and see how many watts it pulls when you first start it up and then how many watts it takes to maintain the temperature once it gets there. All right, so I'm gonna turn on my All Powers here. As you can see, it's charged up to 100%, 0 watts output right now. So let's turn on the DC. That should give us power to the refrigerator. And as you can see, things are starting to light up here. So you hold the power button down, turn it on. And then of course you got the left side or the right side to change the different temperatures from each side. Or if I remove the partition, then this side will go blank and then you can only control it from the top temperature. So let's set this down. We'll make the left side a freezer. And we will set the temperature at about, let's do 20 degrees. There's 20. And then we'll set the refrigerator side. Let's go 35 degrees. All right, so now it's gonna start cooling. Let's see how many watts we're pulling. So it looks like about 35 watts right now. So around 35 watts to initially power up the ICECO and get things going, start getting things cold, and we'll see what it does when it gets to temperature and just maintains it. It's even got a little chart on the inside of the lid with recommended temperatures for different items that you could put in here. Another great thing about this ICECO G20 is you can monitor and change the temperature from an app on your phone, which I actually used the other day. We were going down to visit some family for the day. We had the cooler in the trunk of the car with all our food items in it and drinks. It was plugged into our All Powers battery bank. And as I was riding in the car as a passenger, I was able to check the temperature and make sure that it was maintaining a proper temperature to keep our drinks cold and our food cold. So it worked out pretty cool. We also used this cooler in the back of our Jeep the other day. We went for an e-bikes ride and took some cold drinks with us so we could enjoy them after the ride. We had it plugged into the 12 volt DC outlet in the cargo area of the Jeep the whole time we were on our e-bikes ride. The ride lasted probably about 2.5 to 3 hours. And when we got back, we had nice cold drinks and we had some snacks, and the battery for the Jeep was perfectly fine. But if that is something that you worry about, which you should if you're gonna be using this on a weekend and you have it plugged into your car's battery for an entire weekend, you don't wanna have a dead battery when you go to leave. Well, this actually has a prevention method for that. It's got 3 different settings that you can set for it to shut off when it senses that battery power is getting too low. So what that means is if you have this plugged into your vehicle all weekend while you're camping and the battery gets too low on your vehicle, it will automatically shut itself off to prevent that battery from completely draining. So it looks like it's stabilized and is more like 55 watts or so that it's pulling to initially cool it down. Originally it was around 35, but now it's pretty steady at 55. The G20 also has a fast cooling feature. So if you activate that feature, what it does is it takes all the power for the refrigerator and moves it to the left side for the first 15 minutes of cooling to get that freezer really down to temperature. And then after the 15 minutes, it'll stabilize and provide power to both sides again. So if you don't know and you're new to the channel, my wife and I have been living and traveling full-time in our RV for over 3 years. So we got a few ideas that we want to use this G20 for. Number one, we've got a clam that we've put up at most of our RV sites as entertainment space. That's where we play games with friends, that's where we host potlucks, barbecues, that kind of thing. So the G20 is going to be perfect inside the clam. I no longer have to go in and out of the RV to grab drinks or snacks or food or whatever. We can just leave this in the clam, run a power cord out to it. It'll be a lot easier. Number two, like I mentioned before, we own a Jeep and we are heading back west this winter, planning on doing a lot of Jeeping adventures. So we're excited to use this in the back of the Jeep while we're out four-wheeling all day. We can bring our lunch, we can bring cold drinks, snacks, whatever it is we need. Number three, as you can see, we currently live in a fifth wheel, but we are getting ready to transition to a Class A. And what we want to do with the G20 is we want to install it in one of the lower basement storage on a sliding tray. So that way we have an outdoor freezer, refrigerator on our Class A. Then we can either just transition it from there to the clam when we need it or just leave it outside. Either way will be a lot better than constantly going in and out of the RV to get stuff, you know, tracking in dirt and letting in bugs. So it's only been about 10 minutes or so, and as you can see, the left side's already down to 40 degrees. The right side is at 63. It is really hot and humid here in Iowa today. I'm at my mom and dad's farm. It is about 83 with a heat index of over 90 degrees. So it's doing pretty good for how hot and humid it is too. So imagine being out in the woods, camping or off-roading or whatever it is you're doing, and you have a setup similar to this. Maybe you're gonna be out for a few days. Get a solar panel for your battery bank. You can literally probably run this the entire time on your trip. Let's see how much this can hold. So I did stick some adult beverages in here. We've got 3, 6, 9, 12. So here's a 12 pack. You can easily fit a 12 pack on this side. You could probably even maybe lay down a couple more. Let's see, let's do a test. See if we can lay down some more on top and close the lid. Oh yeah, so the lid closes. So you could get 12 plus probably another 3 or 4 in here, probably 4 more. So 16 adult beverages. And then of course the freezer side's over here. And if you wanted to just make it all for refrigerator, then you just pull this out and it'll automatically adjust. That, as you can see, the bottom went away, top's still flashing. So now the G20 has gotten down to the temperature settings that I put in, and now it's consistently pulling about 30 to 35 watts of power as it's cooling, but it does go into cycles. It'll shut the compressor off for a few minutes and pull 0 watts, and then once the temperature starts to rise, it'll kick back in. So basically, once you get the temperature down to your setting, it'll just start cycling to maintain those temperatures. I know that I'm super excited to use this long term, so make sure you stay tuned and see all the different ways that we do use this. We'll be showing all that in future videos as we explore this beautiful country that we live in. Well, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you click the thumbs up button. Also be sure to subscribe for more product reviews. And we also put out weekly videos of our full-time RV living and travel. So until next time, guys, safe travels.